from me.
Well, I can't. No one can take it from you. You have your own mic now.
Yes.
Yeah, can we right-click mute him?
No, I don't think we had. It's kind of weird that we're sitting this close. I mean, I know how y'all feel.
This is the most comfortable I've been.
Hey guys, welcome to the Words with Woodsman podcast. We're so glad that you're here. We're sitting here. Andy and I are here at the bike shop, and Randy is away on a work trip, so we get virtual Randy today.
An unclosed dislocate or
Undisclosed location.
We can still edit you out like normal.
It's
Yeah.
true.
So
It's actually easier.
it will be much easier.
Yeah.
You don't have to cut parts that I said out too.
I could just take out his whole screen if I want to.
Yeah. So if you can't see Randy, that means it didn't go well.
It just didn't work out.
Yeah. To his family, we still want you to finish watching the rest of this episode.
Yeah. We'll only cut him if we have to. Like and that threshold's like pretty high, I think. At this point.
He's hit it, but it's pretty high.
Yeah.
Well, Randy, so you're away on a work trip this week. Tell us a little bit how's Kentucky this week?
Very rainy, cloudy. It's been raining all week. So I would say there's a big golf tournament here and nobody's been able to play golf. So just a bunch of people walking around the hotel room.
So yeah. Well, we clearly, I don't know if you guys paid attention to any social media this week. Andy's currently like trying to get I have a golden retriever and his dog hair is all over my computer. So Andy's like, he's never sat on this side of the screen before on my computer. So he's actually kind of seeing how the sausage is made. But so if any of you paid attention to social media this week, there was a whole lot of Rapture talk going on. Did you guys see that?
No, not me.
No, clearly none of us got raptured. So
We're still here.
we're still here.
Usually not a good thing. But
I would potentially have some concerns around that. I thought I had that part figured out. But there kind of how it started was there was this pastor somewhere in Africa that had made some kind of prediction. He added up a bunch of numbers. I don't really honestly know how he got to that point, but he claimed that this is where it's actually a holiday this week. It's a Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah. I'm not going to begin to dive off into what that means because I'll probably butcher it. But he claimed that on Rosh Hashanah that we were all going to get raptured. So we're all clearly that didn't happen.
So I want to know how he knew that was when it was going to happen because it doesn't say it in the Bible.
No, and I also want to kind of point out that, the Bible kind of says, no one knows it does say.
So maybe he didn't want it to happen on that day.
No one knows
it would.
No one knows the time or hour. And Jesus even said he didn't know that one. And he also said, beware of people that claim to have exact date. So
yeah,
there's that. But none of us were raptured, so.
No, that's a good thing.
Unless Randy's zooming in from heaven. Does heaven have Zoom?
It's hard to believe he says where he is where he says he is.
He might be. Well, so I did see something on that kind of cracked me up about the rapture. So there was this guy that evidently he was so he did a lot of TikToks with dog training and stuff like that. And he's in Texas. And this woman in Texas that lived in a neighboring town messaged him and said, hey, in case you didn't know, the rapture's happening this was on Monday, okay? In case you didn't know, the rapture's happening on Tuesday. Can I bring my dogs to you so you can keep them? Because I'm getting raptured. And the guy's response back was, ma'am, are you implying that I'm not going with you? I got some questions here.
That's a good one.
Maybe you should witness to him. I don't know. Before you insult him and say, hey, here's my dogs.
Yeah, don't even tell him why. Just say, can you watch my dogs? I'm going to take a little trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
To heaven.
To heaven. Yeah.
Heaven.
Hey, can you just watch my dogs for a day or so? Right? Yeah. Well, guys, I'm so glad for us to be together, even if it's just virtual. So, Andy, how's your week been? We know Randy's in rainy Kentucky, but
Nothing crazy this week. Normal.
pretty normal week for you.
Mhm.
Same here. Randy and I actually this past weekend went to a Vols game. So
Oh
it
yeah, we did, didn't we?
we
Yeah, I
did.
forgot.
So long
You've
ago.
forgotten already.
This week, I am so ready for it to be done.
It was so hot. It
It
was
was a
hot.
shootout.
Well,
Yeah, it was hot.
so
Yeah, shoot.
Randy, it was thanks to Randy because I'm not a huge football fan, but Randy got us some free tickets through a customer or someone that he knows.
Yeah, customer.
And so if you're listening, whoever you are, thank you. But
Alan, thanks.
we enjoyed the seats, but it was like it was down low below the where it's shaded, and so we were just roasting. I've got like the most wicked tan line on on my leg over here from just getting burnt up to watch Tennessee just destroy another team. Like it wasn't even I think they were playing like a high school team. Is that how that works? Was it
It felt
ETSU
like,
or
yeah,
I went to the Titans game on Sunday, and it was also hot, which it was raining in Knoxville. So I would have been in Nashville. And yes, my kids got roasted.
yeah, and they got that little bit of that redhead, so they're probably like
More freckled.
they're fully roasted. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Brady just looks medium rare.
Well, I was the only one with a hat, so they were taking turns, like 10-minute shifts
Just
with my
passing
hat.
the hat around.
Seriously. And then
Well,
they're like, "We're gonna
Rotation.
go inside." I'm like, "Nope, we paid for these seats. We're gonna sit here."
so is your so you're I mean your kids are resourceful, past the
Yeah.
I wonder how they would do camping. Have you ever taken your kids camping?
No,
No?
my
Right.
wife would never go camping.
Well, I wasn't gonna say it.
She doesn't listen, so we're good. But absolutely
Okay,
zero
so I'm safe to
chance.
comment on
Zero
this.
was like if they're yeah, nope, not a chance.
So like not at all. Like what would be her first
She won't even stay in a motorhome.
motorhome?
Down-
Or nope,
Like our line is with motorhome.
like not even one of those stainless steel ones.
So what is her like? What would be the thing what's the first thing that would keep her away?
Dirt,
Just dirt, generally the earth.
animals, spiders, me.
You.
Are you going camping? Well, yeah. No, not going. No.
Mm. What about you, Randy? We'll just pass this question around.
Well, we went early in our relationship, and that was one time that was in a tent. It was cold for her. It was cold for me. It was great, and she never went. Now she'll go what I call glamping. You bring an RV or something like that, she'll go.
That's
But a
not
tent,
camping.
no,
My
no,
wife won't
that's my
even do
fault.
glamping.
My
No.
my wife's more of a glamper. Like she is, she likes the memory foam mattress, like the full like her version of camping, I think, is Holiday Inn.
So have you ever camped without proper equipment?
Well, the last time I went camping, funny enough, the last time I went camping was actually the night before I met my wife. So I can tell that story. So I was a student pastor at the time, and I was taking a bunch of senior high school boys, not seniors. We weren't taking like elderly people. We were taking high school boys, 11th and 12th graders, on a camping trip. And what's funny is actually one of our listeners was actually on this camping trip, so I'm gonna blame him for just 5 seconds. He actually joined the army, and I hope he got better. We'll get there, but so we went down in this place in Mississippi. It's called Red Bluff. It's like the Grand Canyon of Mississippi, except not like
It's
near
not so grand.
it's not quite as grand. I mean, it's deep. I mean, it's literally a canyon, right? Like, and it's all clay and red and all this kind of stuff. Well, I let one of the boys pick our camping spot, which was a terrible idea because this
Yep.
kid, he took us into Nam. Like we're like scaling bluffs, we're crossing creeks, like we're going way off in the woods. And to make matters worse, it had just rained like I think like the day or so before. So everything's soggy, everything's wet, all the wood's wet that we would try to, build a fire with. And so we get down there and I'm setting up my tent and I tell the guys, I said, hey, because you got teenage manual labor, right? Like, I'm not going to go carry wood. Like, I've got a bunch of teenage boys there. Seemed like a good idea. So I said, hey guys, go find some wood and build the fire. Sounds great. So I'm setting up my tent. I'm not really paying attention to what they're doing. And they gather up a bunch of pine. I didn't know this. Fun fact, never cook on pine. It will cause some, distress later to your bowels. So I wasn't paying attention. They get the fire going. They start roasting, hot dogs and marshmallows and everything else. I walk over, and the guy who joined the army later on actually was the one who was like leading the effort to build this fire. Okay. I hope the army taught him differently. He'll comment on the video, I'm sure, and give me some sass. But they get the fire built, and I walk over there, and by that point in time, all the leaves had burned off. I wasn't really paying attention. So I cooked my food. Well, we all get through the night. About 2 a.m, I hear this sound, and it sounds like someone just, vomiting. And it was a pile of teenage boys just vomiting in the woods. Okay. And I see into my future because I ate the food too. And so then I go off in the woods. I'm like, oh no, this is not good. We ran out of toilet paper, had to sacrifice a towel. Like it just went
Could have
downhill.
used poison ivy.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I met my wife the very next day. Okay. So I almost didn't meet my wife because I didn't sleep very well that night. And then there was this like church get together at a friend's house. I almost didn't go because I didn't sleep the night before, but I took like a 3-hour nap. And I guess that's why I was able to,
Casey
get her
listens to
phone
this.
number and
She
press
was
her.
that close.
She was.
So close.
She was that close to, having a totally different life.
Yeah. You're
So-
lucky, Josh.
Thank goodness for the pine.
Thank goodness for that towel that I had. May it rest in peace in the woods of Mississippi somewhere.
Yeah. So when I was about, I don't know, 15, we did an all-night paintball war. So the rules were when the sun went down, you pause at first light, it starts again. But we're in 100 acres, but you didn't know where the other person's camp was. So there's a couple different strategies. You could just say whatever and build a fire, build a camp, whatever. Well, we decided to go complete stealth. So we had no tents, no sleeping bags, nothing. We just slept on the ground. Well, the other team set up an entire, it was like some kind of base. They had a huge fire. They had like really good food. So they enjoyed themselves, but they woke up surrounded.
Did you not follow the rules of engagement?
No, at first light, we shot him, but we hit one of them in the eye.
Execution at
He
first
didn't have
light.
his mask on. So that ended the war pretty quick. But yeah, not very smart.
The one of the coolest, you talking about well, we really weren't talking about executions, but I'll go there. So one of the coolest student ministry small groups I ever led was an airsoft group. I might get some hate for this one.
Really?
So it was an airsoft group for 7th grade boys. Okay. So we would meet, do Bible study, and then we looked like an armed militia. Like they had all these kids, like you talking about, like look like Rambo. They got like bandanas on their head, and they made airsoft guns look really legit. So they all look like assault rifles, right? So we're down here behind the church, and if a kid would act up in small group, we had a rule, and there's it
Stand against the wall?
firing squad.
Oh my God.
And so literally we'd say, hey, 50 steps, walk 50 steps, put on a mask, safety first. Everyone in the group, I said, you get 3 shots. When I say fire, fire. And if you fire more than 3 shots, you get the firing squad. And so
Oh my God.
it was a full military tribunal, guys, like it. But I tell you what,
what's the spot you aim for? The neck?
wherever you want.
Where's the weak spot?
So we didn't have a lot of disruptions. And in fact, actually, that's not true. We had one kid that disrupted every week.
Just one to get shot?
He got shot with airsoft pellets every week. And when his mom would come pick him up, she'd go, firing squad? I said, firing squad. She goes, all right, well, that makes sense.
I'm sure he did.
So, well, guys, we are coming up on our first break. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will dive off into Philippians. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. we are in Philippians. We're going to start with verse 9. We made it all the way through verse 8 last week.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1 of Philippians. And we're going to pick up with verse 9 tonight. So I'll read it, and then I'll read the first 3 verses. We'll talk about that, and then we'll see how far we get tonight. So it says this, starting with verse 9, it says, "And this is my prayer." And this is Paul speaking. He's in prison. Epaphroditus has come, brought him a gift. He's sending this letter back with Epaphroditus to the church at Philippi. He says, "This is my prayer." He's talking to the Philippians, "that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that you may be able to discern what is best and may be pure and blameless for the day of Christ, filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Christ Jesus to the glory and praise of God." And so, my initial thoughts with this first part is one, let's just point out, how often do we miss like praying for people like this, right? Like we get so self-focused. I know I do. We get locked in on kind of what's going on in our world that we don't really pray for other people. Like if we do pray for other people, it's like, "Lord, we ask that you'd heal Randy from his ailment." You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure Randy appreciates that, but it's not hey, I'm praying that your love for God just continues more and more and more and more, right? Like you just go deeper and deeper. Like how different would our friendships, would our interactions, how different would it look if we approached it that way?
Well, the other thing is, this is taking it a little bit different, but what is our intentions when we pray? Sometimes I feel like I'm praying for somebody because I said I would. So is my heart truly clean, and am I really looking out for their best interests, or am I doing it because I feel obligated to? So it's just crazy when you look at what is your true intention for doing that. And I think that's hard. And I love the part where it says, "And this is my prayer, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight." And I think that's versus talking to our need to continue to grow. The more we know God, the more our love grows. And if we truly love somebody and cared for them, then the prayer would follow suit. It wouldn't be an obligation. It would be my heart.
Absolutely. And this is sanctification. Okay, so first off, let's break this down for a second. Think about where Paul's at.
Yeah, he's in prison.
Like,
Yep.
how many of us would be in like a pity party? Like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this has happened to me,
Right.
Lord." And wouldn't your prayers be, think about any time,
"Lord, get me out of here."
right? Like think about any time, like think about the worst thing that you've ever walked through. Okay. And because Paul, they're threatening him with death. So I can imagine this is probably pretty bad, low point in his life, right?
Yeah.
At least it would seem to be. And Paul's response is, "Hey, I'm praying for you."
Mm-hmm.
He's not showing any concern for himself. And I just think that speaks to that,
Well, I mean, if you have your faith is strong enough, you really don't have to pray for yourself because you know God's going to handle it. You're putting it in God's hands. Now you're asking God to help somebody else, and that's the whole point of prayer is you're praying for somebody else. So that's the way. I mean, that's how I take him. Why he doesn't pray for himself, he just prays for others.
So I was in a small group one time, and we were discussing prayer and who we pray for. And it was hilarious. We kind of took a vote there. Let's say there were 7 or 8 folks. We said, "How often do you pray for yourself?" And I raised my hand, but no one else did. And I was like, that's weird. I never thought of that, because I've always prayed for the strength. I've always prayed for the wisdom. I've always prayed
Yeah.
for myself. And so that's maybe something else to bring up. We spend a lot of time maybe praying for others, but how much time do we spend praying for ourselves? And if you pray for yourself too much, how much time do you spend praying for others?
Well, and what does those prayers look like?
Right.
Is it "Oh my gosh, God, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me"? And
That sounds like me.
well, that's something I get convicted. I get convicted of that. Of like, what am
I was in the shower, not in jail.
I'm like, well, yeah, like, "Lord, I really need you to come through on this," or "Lord, I really need you to make this work," or
Yeah.
Lord, can you do this?" Lord, I just stubbed my toe in the shower. Like we're constantly, what do your prayers look like? And then you got Paul, who I would consider a mature believer, and his prayer is, hey, I'm not just praying for my sanctification, which is exactly what this is. And sanctification is a fancy word for you're becoming you're becoming a new person in Christ. Like you're being made new. And Paul's going, hey, I'm praying that your love may abound in knowledge and depth of insight. So he's given us this roadmap of the more that we know God, the more our love grows, because we know, the more you know about God, the more you're going to love him, right? And the more that you love him, the more righteousness grows in your life, because you're doing things for him, you're changing things, but not because of obligation, not because you're trying to get to heaven, but because you know and you love your creator. And so I just think that's like, man, I want to pray like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a lot in 3 verses.
Well, that was just the first one.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And the thing is he goes on and he tells them, hey, so that you may be able to discern what is best and may be pure and blameless for the day of Christ. He's praying for their discernment. Now he's the one sitting in jail. They're living their life. And he's saying, filled with the fruit of righteousness. So where does righteousness come from?
Through Jesus Christ.
Through Jesus Christ, to the glory and praise of God. And so he's acknowledging, hey, my righteousness is not coming from me. And he's not letting, even though like he's suffering for his faith, he's not letting pride seep in, which I think is phenomenal here. So let's keep reading. Now I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that what has happened to me has actually served to advance the gospel. As a result, it's become clear throughout the whole palace guard, so everyone that's guarding him, and to everyone else, that I am in chains for Christ. And because of my chains, most of the brothers and sisters have become confident in the Lord and dare all the more to proclaim the gospel without fear.
So here he is in jail.
He's in jail.
Not in a great spot.
Mm-mm.
Not his first time in jail.
Nope.
His faith is so strong that it's just spewing out of him, that everybody else, the guards, the other prisoners, they can see how strong his faith is. He's not worried. He's not concerned. He's not weeping. He's not crying. He's not begging. He is praying for others.
I could think of a few of those options. I'd probably be going down.
Yeah, exactly. A few. How do I?
Like, Lord, get me out of here. They're going to kill me.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine being like, oh my gosh, that guy's God is real. Look how strong he is. He is unwavering in his faith, absolutely unwavering. And he's being tested in jail.
Right. And not only that, he's so concerned about other people that he's writing this 4-chapter, which we added the chapters, right? Like later on. But the length is still the same. This not really a 4-chapter letter that he's writing to another church to encourage them.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's concerned about.
Well, I think the first verse is just incredible with what's going on right now. It says, I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that what has happened to me has actually served to advance the gospel.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on right now in the world. So some terrible things.
Yeah.
But the gospel is being shared with more people than it ever.
Well, I watched, so they had the Charlie Kirk Memorial on Sunday. Did you guys get to watch that?
I got to see some of it.
I was driving.
I watched a good bit of it, and there's a couple observations I want to make. Of one, right out the gate. So the first guy out was actually Charlie Kirk's pastor, and he gets out there and he shares the gospel. Like right out the gates, does an altar call, like straight up does an altar call. And there was some political stuff in there, and we're not gonna get into that, but but a theme that I saw across many of the speakers, not all the speakers, but many of the speakers, was I saw the gospel presented. And one, the organization that usually when you have these kind of things, the organization that runs it has the choice to, a lot of people don't realize this, but they have the choice to copyright it and stuff like that. Well, they didn't copyright it so it can be shared over and over again on social media, but they just reported that, I think they said it was 100 million streams of this memorial service. And the thing is, hey, I got to give credit where credit is due. That moment when, Erica Kirk gets up there and she says, I forgive him, talking about the guy that shot her husband. She goes, I forgive him. Like, that's what the gospel looks like, right? Like, you've got somebody that just lost her husband in a terrible attack, right? Um, Something that was very much driven by the enemy. Like anytime that we're anytime that we step into violence, that's driven by the enemy. And her response back, like, what is it, like 11 days afterwards, when she's got
Yeah.
to go raise 2 kids on her own, her response is I forgive him. That's the
Just
power of Jesus.
imagine how much prayer she put in before she went up there to release that out there for everybody to hear and see. Because that, I mean, that inside, I wonder if I could do it. Could I
Yeah.
do it? You know,
Well, she
could I
quoted
do it in that short of a time?
well, and she quoted Jesus, because so when Jesus was on the cross, literally as they're hanging him on the cross, he's going, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing.
Yep.
And so that, I mean, the thing that blew me away, and I actually had this conversation today. I was actually on the phone with someone on the way here to the bike shop, and we were talking about forgiveness, and we were talking about that. And I said, I heard a theologian. I don't remember who it was, so I can't really give credit. So it was somebody important said this. But they said when you don't forgive people, it's it's like you've set yourself on fire and you hope the other person dies of smoke inhalation.
Hmm.
Like, think about that imagery, right? Like, you have set your own self on fire. Like, I'm sitting here, I've doused myself in gasoline, I've set myself on fire, and I'm hoping Andy like dies of the smoke that's going to come off of me. Like, think about that's what you do when you don't forgive. That's what you do when you let that build in, right? Like, it just destroys you from the inside out.
And I just seen a guy that came on and said Erica's speech was inspirational to him because his brother had been killed by this guy during a fight, an altercation.
A different guy.
And yeah, a different guy. And he was very mad at that guy that did that to his brother. But because of Erica, he went on social media and said, hey, you know, said his name, I believe, and said, I forgive you. Da, da, da. He couldn't find him because that guy had blocked him from social media. Well, somebody on his comments knew, got him hooked up. He called him and told him he forgave him. And he was talking about how much that came off of him and the anger that was released because he had forgiven that guy. And he goes, it was hard. And I'm still, talking to Christ about what more can I do. And the unfortunate thing that happened, but now what it's doing to people, I feel, around the world is
Yeah.
inspiring and making them dig in and forgive and reach out to Jesus more, which is what we need.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, that's the true solution, right? Like, you're not going to legislate. Your government's not going to save you. The
No,
Congress is not going to save you. Legislature is not going to save you. And I said this a couple of podcasts ago, and I stand by it. Of if you take all the different groupings that we break ourselves down into, and there's all these categories. There's left, there's right, there's different races, there's different countries, there's Republican, there's Democrat, there's Southerner, there's Northerner, all these little subcategories, right? For just for eternal purposes, none of those categories matter. The
nope,
only category that really matters is, are you lost? Do you know God? Or don't. I mean, are you lost or are you saved? Like, that's it. Because when you stand before the Lord, and I think this is why we need to be more bold in our faith, right? Is because for all of us, when we stand before the Lord, either you're covered by Jesus' sacrifice on the cross because you made him the Lord of your life, or you're not. And that's it. Like, that's going to be the only like dividing factor at that point in time. And I love that, to get back to the text here, I love that Paul says, hey, everything that's happening to me, him being in jail, him getting beaten, all these bad things that are going on, he said it's actually served to advance the gospel. And he goes on, in verse 14, he says, because of my chains, most of these brothers and sisters have become more confident have become confident in the Lord and dare the more to proclaim the gospel without fear. So he's saying, hey, everything that I'm doing is pushing the gospel forward by me being punished. Like, think about that is the definition of not thinking about yourself, right? Like, he's putting Jesus before even his own well-being. But not only that, he's saying, hey, me being in here is actually making people on the outside be more confident in their faith and share more. And so, like, that's really where we got to get, as believers and as the church. I mean, the big C church. I'm not talking about any individual church, but for all of us as the church of, hey, guys, we joked about the rapture earlier and all that kind of stuff. That day's coming. And do we have people in our life that don't know him? And have we had that opportunity? Have we taken the opportunity to share?
So me and my wife have talked about this extensively because it's something that gets us both a little emotional because we know people that still need Christ, and we want to lead them because we want to be up there with them. You don't want to be at the gates and you're watching a family member, a friend, not walking through them gates with you, and it's gonna hurt, but you got people you got to get out there and save and lead them to Christ. So you're up there having a party. We always want to believe we're gonna have a party up there. It's 24/7 party in heaven.
Well, and that's the most important thing. And I think that what has happened, I really, and I pray that it continues. And I know it has done this to me as well. What's happened over the past couple weeks has really brought to the forefront of, hey, we got to share the gospel. Hey, we got to tell people about Jesus. What are we doing? Like, that's the most important thing that you can do on this planet is to share
Mhm.
Jesus. And we get so wrapped up, and it's been convicting to me because we get so wrapped up in, these mundane day-to-day things. Like, the biggest danger for us as believers is not even really persecution, right? Like, Jesus made this thing, and we've talked about this before on past podcasts, of Jesus made this thing to survive persecution. Like, the more that you try to push the church down, the bigger it grows, right?
Stronger to fight back.
The thing that
Yeah.
really pushes back on us and hurts us spiritually is, and I heard someone say this one time, and it was really profound. The thing that slows the church down more than anything is our comfort. It's not when
Complacency.
it's not when we're being persecuted, it's when we're comfortable.
Yeah.
And so I think it's time to get a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. Start dusting off them Bibles.
Yeah. Andy's
Getting
over
in
here
'em.
battling a fly. A fly's trying to
I
attack him.
wish I had my salt gun.
Yeah.
But he was on the corner of your computer. I was worried I'd crack your computer.
Take him out. Take him out.
Can you imagine in the thing?
Yeah. Well,
I'm
guys,
bringing it next time.
Well, guys, we are out of time for this episode. And so we want to encourage you this week, get out there, share Jesus with someone this week.
Peace. No, mistimed it.
Close enough.
1, 2, 3.
Not the
Peace.
same.
1, 2, 3. Peace. 1, 2,
Peace.
3. Peace.
All right, enough of that. See you guys.
That's it.
Thanks for listening to the Words with Woodsman podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. We'll see you next time.